Hey guys, this is TwoBreathSorrow speaking, and I'm going to do a deck profile on my counter fairies. This deck is actually extremely anti-meta. It's missing a couple cards that I took out from my other decks, but it can probably run just as good. Okay, to start off, Voltanis the Adjudicator. This card is a staple in Counter Fairy because when you activate Counter Trap, you can tribute all your monsters with this. And since there's a lot of fairies in Counter Fairy, then it blows up your opponent's field. I run 1, 2, 3 Vandalion. I don't know how to pronounce it. The Dark Dragon Lord. I never learned how to pronounce it. Basically, this is another staple in Counter Fairies. When you activate Counter Trap and it resolves, you can special summon this guy, and then there's 3 effects depending on what you negated, and basically that's it. And it's a 2800 beater. I run 2 Chaos Sorcerers. This card grants Counter Fairy more power, and yeah, I love removing from play their monsters. They can't really do much about it unless it's like a macro deck or something, which is good. But this just basically gives me more power from cards in my graveyard, which I normally don't use. And yeah, Chaos Sorcerer is crazy. 3 Bountiful Artemis. This is a staple in Counter Fairy. It gives you draw power, and you need the draw power to keep your hand full of counter traps. And yeah, this card's really good. 3 Harvest Angels of Wisdom. This refills your hand with counter traps. Basically, it keeps when it dies from battle, like you can crash it or something, or just leave it as an 1800 beat stick, and you can grab a counter trap when it dies. Too honest? People hate it. Most of my monsters are light. Might as well use it. 2 DD Warrior Ladies. I actually had Thunder King Ryos before I added these, but I didn't have enough money, or I couldn't find the Thunder Kings to put in this deck. So I just used DD Warrior Ladies because you can just remove and play their monsters, and like if you set it or something. Yeah, sorry about the sleeves. LGs. Some people like them. If you set it and they attack it, you just remove and play both monsters, and that's like anti-meta, man. What if they attack with like something really good? They're screwed. 1 Spirit Reaper. It's Stall. Stall is hilarious and good. It's also a dark monster for Chaos Sorcerer if it dies, and this would probably give you like 2 to 3 turns of stall unless they destroy it somehow. 1 Morphine Jar. This card basically refills your hand, because after like maybe 5 turns you start top decking, and if you draw this, then you can basically restart, and that's really good. 1 Gale. It's a dark monster, plus it has a really good effect of cutting your opponent's attack and defense in half, and I can also synchro with it. I can synchro for really gay cards like Black Rose Dragon, and maybe a Stardust if that's possible. I can also synchro for Allied Justice Cataster and Brionic, and yeah, this card just gives me synchro power. Monster Reborn and Dark Hole, these are staples, and also the only 2 magic cards in my deck. Yes, I only have 2 magic cards in my deck, but these are pretty much all you need for magic cards, because counter traps will actually just negate anything your opponent throws at you. And now to start with the counter traps. 3 force backs. It basically negates the normal summon or flip summon of a monster. This card is extremely good because they cannot call priority because the summon was negated. Keyword negated, and you can like summon some like a Voltanis right after and completely screw your opponent's game over. Let's see. 3 drastic drop-offs. I personally like this card because when your opponent draws a card, like draw phase, and they're top decking and you activate this, then they're screwed because they don't have anything to use if they're top decking. And this can completely change the game. Like if you drastic drop off their game changing card. I used it against my friends often. They hate me for it, so that means it's good. 3 negate attacks. This is a counter trap which negates attacks. The name tells all. It negates attacks. It protects your monsters. It's a good thing. 3 dark bribes. This can negate a lot of stuff like Mirror Force, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn. It's just the cheap version of Solemn Judgment. I would actually add a Solemn Judgment to this deck, but I don't have the money for it because I have a shitload of other decks. And yeah, 3 dark bribes. You can add a Solemn. Much better. 2 Black Horn of Heavens. Is a counter trap which negates special summons. Most people have never heard of this card, but this card is extremely good because you can probably negate a Synchro Summon, a Judgment Dragon, a Dark Arm Dragon, a Fault Roll, a Gothams, Black Rose, Brionic. It also destroys it, so yeah, it's really good. 2 Divine Rats. This card looks stupid, but it's actually really good. And it can negate monster effects, which is actually a really good thing. Like, you can negate a Stardust. They hate you for it. Oh well. Their problem, not mine. And 2 Magic Drains. This will stop Dark Hole and Lightning Vortex and gay cards. It's a good thing. And that's pretty much it for my Counter Fairy deck. This is TwoBreathSorrow saying goodbye. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.